Jim here from the Don't Worry Club Garage. It's been a little while since I posted a video. I went to work on the India and thought I'd do a very simple job of pulling the spark plugs and putting some new ones in to get ready to try to fire the bike here at some point. And the simple job, as usually happens, turned into a complicated job. So I pulled the plugs. These are Beck plugs. Leonard 14-F plugs. I've come to understand these are from the 60s. I've been in this bike since then. Well, the front cylinder plug came out just fine, but the back cylinder plug, when I took it out, it came out, took the insert out of the cylinder head with it when it came out. And the two were froze together. So I spent the last couple of weeks trying to separate the original brass cylinder head insert from this old Beck plug. So I'll show you a couple of things that I did to get those two things separated here in the video, but at the start I thought wouldn't be such a big deal. I could wrap some heavy rubber around the insert threads, get a wrench on it, and break the two loose, and boy was I wrong. Essentially, when I did that, I ended up flattening some of the brass threads, external threads on the insert, which was a bummer. And then I probably spent the next 2 weeks doing repeated cycles of heating and cooling, applying PB blaster, just over and over to try to get those two things separated. Ended up, I took a brass half 14 NPT threaded water fitting. I cut the hex off to create somewhat of a jam nut, and then used a brass elbow, cast iron elbow, again with an half 14 thread. So I was able to get those two jammed together, get it in a vise, and then again with some heat and PB blaster, I was able to get the two separated. So we'll get into a little bit of the work it took to clear up that brass insert, the original one, to make it usable again. I'm going to run this portion of the video at high speed because watching me file threads is pretty boring. I ended up getting a set of male thread files off of Amazon, of course making sure that one of them was a half 14 thread profile. And then really you just clamp the piece up in the vise and take your time, work around it, try to keep even amount of material removed as you go. One good tip is to make sure you start the file in a good section of thread and then work into the bad section of thread. That way you've got a good start, and as you move into the bad section, that material gets removed. So all in all, pretty simple. You just have to take your time and work yourself around, and it turned out okay. There, after about 20 minutes of work, I've got myself a usable piece. Earlier in the video, I talked about a custom tool that I made to get the plugs separated from the insert, so I thought I'd show you what this is. There's a brass nut that I basically die grinded off of a fitting, and then I've got the cast iron elbow that I used. I'm going to use those same tools to work on the inside of the thread because it had a bad spot and I was not able to get the spark plug to fully seat against the edge of the brass. So here I'm using a half 14 MPT thread chaser that I picked up at a local auto parts store, and uses a 3-inch drive ratchet. And here again, you just take your time, you work it through. There was just one little bad spot in the ID thread that the spark plug threads into. So I'm going to work it back and forth, loosen it, tighten it, just to basically work through that bad spot until I get it cleaned up. So as you can see now, I was able to, without being in a vise, I can get the thread chaser through the insert without any trouble at all. So now I'm going to get the spark plug and give it a shot. Here's another tip for you. As you can see, I can't quite get the spark plug to seat against that surface of the brass insert, even though I was able to get the thread chaser through without any trouble. Now I got to go back to my tool, I got to get it back in the vise and use some brake clean, some lube gel, really just trying to clean that internal thread out. Eventually I got it, and it all worked out, but make sure you always test fit your actual part before you call it good and say you're done. Here's a photo of the finished brass insert with my 2 new NGK plugs, and then here's a photo with the insert attached to the plug. As you can see, it's seated well. Here's the front cylinder. This is the one where the insert stayed in the cylinder head. And then the back cylinder head, you can see the insert had come out. So this is the one where I'm going to reassemble the insert into this cylinder head. Okay, now that I've got my threaded brass insert threads all cleaned up, I'm going to go to put this back in the cylinder head. So one of the things I'm worried about is once I get it back in, make sure that the threaded insert stays in the head when I take the spark plug in and out multiple times. So I'm going to put a little anti-seize on the plug itself, and before I put that on in the insert. Do that real quick. The stuff gets everywhere, so you don't want to get too crazy with it. Make sure I start from the right direction. There, so that's together. Now, since I had to repair these threads, I filed a little bit of material off, so the threads are likely a little sloppy in the cylinder head, which is okay. I'm going to put this blue Loctite on to help fill the gaps when I screw this insert into the head. So I'm going to be a little liberal here with the Loctite, because I want to make sure that this insert really stays put over the long haul. Not that I'll be taking this stuff in and out very often, but okay, now we'll go to put this in the cylinder head. Okay, we'll just shed a little light on the topic. Try to get this thing started in there nice and even. Make sure we don't cross thread it, because like I said, the threads are a little sloppy. Definitely having some trouble. There it goes. And we're going to take this down until that insert is flush with the top of the cylinder head. I'm going to try to get rid of this excess Loctite so I can see better where I'm at. It looks like I can stand to go a little bit deeper. Go a little bit more. Tightening the plug now. I think I must be home. Take the plug back out. I'll get in there and clean this excess out of here. Don't want to clean too much of my Survivor dirt off of this thing. There, good as new. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't Worry Club Garage signing off.